Hey guys. Okay, well, welcome back to the Marissa Effect. This is my solo episode. I'm not gonna lie, I don't like the solo episodes because I don't know, I feel awkward, but I am happy that you're here. I'm happy that you guys have been listening to me consistently. I just really felt like I needed to have a minute or an episode to really kind of talk about how much I appreciate everybody who's come onto the show to share their stories, and how much I appreciate the fact that you're just listening, that people are just listening and buying into these stories, because it's meaningful and it's open and it's vulnerable and it changes people's lives. So I know I'm just getting started, but I needed to take some time out and kind of explain a little bit more of my why, because as I'm interviewing everybody, I'm realizing that this is just giving me so much purpose. I love sitting on this couch or sitting downstairs in the office, and I love hearing people's stories and the things that are coming up. I'm just like, oh crap, I didn't even know that, or holy shit, I'm even more wowed by you than I ever was before. And it's like what I've imagined and then more. And I like that I can see myself progress, because this is the beginning stages. And I kind of wish you guys were here, because you could see that when I started in January, I didn't have much. I just had my laptop, this microphone that I ordered on Amazon. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, the headphones. I'm pretty sure that's all I started with. And now I've invested in the camera. I always had my ring light. But I have so much other stuff that I can't even, I have something, an interface now for my two mics, so the sound should be much better. It's so cool. It's still so beginner, but it's so cool to see how much I've bought into this, and to see its growth. And I love to see the creativity behind it, because I am learning a lot about social media, and I hate that part, to be honest. The social media part and the editing is just such a weakness for me, but it's so cool, because it's like I tapped into this whole digital creativity world. Like, these people are artists, and they have such talent. They can make anything look amazing, and I just can't believe the crap I'm learning. But I know I kind of went off on a tangent, but to go back as to why I felt like I needed to do this solo episode, it's because I'm appreciative of the friends I brought on, the fact that they took time out to allow me to interview them, just to tell their story. And then for people to take time out of their day to listen, I'm just like, oh my gosh. And that's truly what this is, what I want this to be. I want this to be a community, and I want people to come on here and feel inspired and feel like, holy crap, or that happened to that person, or I always wanted to try that. It's just like, I know that it could change people's lives, because this is what happened to me, and so many things changed my life just because I was listening to people's stories, or I was on Instagram and I was seeing the people's profiles. And honestly, Instagram and social media rather is just like a little digital portfolio of yourself and your life. And I think it's so cool, because you get to see yourself grow, you get to see your community grow, you get to see your changes. And anyway, because people are posting, I'm just amazed, because people are posting, I'm able to be like, wow, like I want to be like that, or I want to do that, or I want to get into this. And it's like an expander. So I really want to kind of talk a little bit about what an expander is to me. I learned the word expander from a podcast I actually follow. It's called To Be Magnetic. And they talk about, if you want change in your life, you need to see it in order to believe that it can happen in your life. So that's basically what I do. Whenever I want to learn anything, or whenever I want to try anything new, I go and I find something or somewhere. It's so cool, between ChatGPT and social media, you could truly just type in what you want to learn, and you can even type in like, did this person know it growing up? And you'll find out like, no, they didn't. And then that becomes your expander, because now you're seeing how they tapped into this, how they got this talent, and you're just like going off of that. So I don't know. I kind of go on a lot of tangents, but but yeah, anyway, this podcast is I'm just loving it so far, and I can't wait to interview more people, and I have so many people on deck to interview. I don't love the editing, but I'm happy to do it because I think that I love when people telling me that they're hearing their story, and then I love that I'm connecting people. It just literally beams my heart up. But ultimately, I also like that every single week we're learning something new, because I know for myself that I don't stay in, I have ADHD, for those of you who don't know me, so I cannot just stay focused on one thing. There's so many things out for all of us that we're made up of and that we're interested in. So for me to say, oh, I just like yoga, or I just like fitness, it's not true. I like all of these different things, and different aspects of us make us who we are. So each and every episode is so cool because I do love finances. I love learning about finance things, and half my friends probably don't even know that. The other half probably do know that because I choose to talk about that with them because they're probably interested in finance. But that's the cool thing. And then I have another pocket of friends that don't even like fitness, but I hang out with a bunch of other fitness people and I share that interest. So life is all about like adding tools to your toolbox, and that's what I want to do with this show. Like it's all about like living better than we were yesterday, better than we were living last year. And what a better way to do it than interview your friends and people who inspire you each and every day. Truly. So yeah, I also wanted this this episode rather, to kind of just talk about a little bit about my epiphanies and what I have been kind of feeling for myself. I've started reflecting since I started this podcast in January about what this brings to me, because some of you may know, some probably don't know, but I to this day, I struggle using the word depression because I just struggle with it. I know I have a really, really, I don't want to say negative attitude, but I almost just don't want to identify with it because I want to know that I can dig myself out of these things. So I never gave in to like saying that I'm depressed or I struggle, but I definitely do. And I realize that if you're not open and vulnerable and talking about these things with people that you feel safe with and connected to, you struggle more. You may feel tough and you may feel like you're persevering in the moment, but you struggle more in the long run, and it takes the healing process that much longer to get where you needed to be, to get where you need to be. So really, I just wanted to share that with you, that from COVID, and it honestly was probably happening before COVID, but since COVID and when the world started opening up, I just started to self-isolate, and I still remain the same person I was, joking around, laughing with all my friends, but inside I just didn't feel, I just felt a change, like a big difference. So what was I going to say? Oh, sorry, I just heard the mic started acting weird, but I'm just going to keep on going. So anyway, I started to self-isolate, and I started to feel like I was only focusing on certain aspects of my life. Like I found aerial yoga, and it changed me in so many ways. Like I've tapped into this fitness world, and I was always into fitness, but I never really made it my personality. Not that it's my personality now, but I definitely need to work out, and I know that I do, to kind of beat that ADHD side of me. Otherwise, I kind of get even more anxious if I don't do something with that extra energy. But I started to find these pockets of people. So I tapped into aerial yoga, and then I only had those friends. Like I pulled away from my other friends, and before COVID, I was always going out, and I always had a social life, and I realized that I really do like that side of me. Yes, there's a lot of drinking involved at that time, but I realize now that you don't have to drink to go out and see your friends at a bar. Like, just do you. And I like having different friends, and I like having variety in my life. I think social interactions are just what fuels me up. honestly, it's funny because I started this podcast, and it's just, it helps. So anyway, I realized a lot about myself because last year I struggled to even get out of bed. I don't know why it got so much more intense, but last year it really just did. And I was trying things, like I was changing my diet and I was eating healthy. Well, I mean, I probably could have ate healthier, but I was conscientious of what I was eating. And I was working out. I was going for walks. I was doing what you're supposed to do, but I still didn't feel right. So I started to open up, and I started to talk with my friends, and I started to realize, like, we're all kind of going through it no matter what. And just because you think somebody appears normal or appears fun and like nothing ever gets them down, something may get them down, and you don't know what they're going through. And the best medicine is to share and respect people's stories, and to help and maybe provide them with some insight from your background, and that way people could feel like, oh wow, you did it too, and feel less alone and less self-isolated. I started to realize that this is medicine, and this was helping me. So I started to become more vulnerable, and I started opening up, which is something I never really was good at, and I can't even say that I'm good at it now because I don't know, because I know I struggle. I know I get nervous about to do it, but I'm getting better because I know on the other side of it, once I do share, I'm like, wow, holy crap, I feel better, and I was understood and I was heard. There's nothing better than that. But anyway, so yeah, I started to make these small changes, and then I went to a functional wellness doctor, and I took a test called the Dutch test, and it's a dried urine sample test, and they test for your hormones. And lo and behold, of course, I found out, I have hormone deficiencies or hormone imbalances. And I've been saying that to my friends. I've been saying something's off. So it just kind of confirmed that what my gut was telling me was right. Anyway, I have this amazing doctor. I'm going to interview her, so one day she is going to appear on the show, and I'm really excited for her. But her name is Dr. Kim. She narrowed down what I was deficient in, and then I took some supplements, changed my diet, and I started to feel so much better. And it didn't cure anything, but it started to transition my life, and I started to feel so much better. And then from there, I don't know, between sharing and changing my diet and just doing things that brought me joy, I started to realize, okay, I got to start listening to what I want to do, because when I'm people pleasing and I'm doing the shit other people want to do, I'm not getting anywhere in my life, and I'm not feeling good about myself, and I feel less than, and you have I have negative self-beliefs, like negative self-talk. And anyway, I started to ignore that stuff and kind of push through, but I couldn't have done it without opening up to certain people and without getting pushed. Like even starting this podcast, like this was a big push by the people I shared it with and confided in, and they were like, just do it. What's the worst that's going to happen? So I'm happy I did it. Anyway, I'm sharing that because had I not got uncomfortable and did it, I wouldn't have started this podcast, and I wouldn't even be connecting with the people I'm connecting to, because I would be still in my hermit crab in my own mind, thinking like, no, nobody wants to share their story with me, or I'm not going to be good at social media and I'm never going to get it out there, or I'm going to get lazy. None of these things that I've told myself I've done. So I'm proving to myself that I'm capable, and I'm going to do it. And I want to do it because it's bringing me joy. So anyway, I don't mean to even overshare this with you to take you down. I mean, honestly, I'm posting on social media, so at this point I'm comfortable with people just knowing that. But struggling with mental health is very, very real, and it doesn't get fixed overnight, and one thing doesn't just fix it. So I think my message really is for others is just to try something new. Like, now that I'm so super reflective of the past 5 years since COVID, I realized that aerial yoga was at one point the best medicine for me for where I was in that time frame. And then I started to feel like I needed more, missing out on things, and I was self-isolating, and I realized I needed more, but I had no idea what to even do, because at that point, I'm going to be so honest with you, I was judging myself and the people, and I was judging the people I even hung out with, like, oh, well, they're drinkers and I don't want to drink, and this and that and that other thing, and drinking doesn't make me happy, and that's all, like, I like, and that was all just because, I don't know, I felt like I needed to fit this mold, this aerial yogi mold, and it's like, no, just, you could be whoever you want. You can do whatever you really want, whatever you feel makes your heart happy. Like, that's what's most important, making your heart feel happy. And I didn't always understand what people meant when they said stuff like that, because I was like, well, what, my heart feels happy, this person's not going to like that, and then that person's not going to like it. And I was listening to others more than I was listening to myself. I was truly not getting anywhere. So again, like, this podcast is about growth. It's about connecting, and it's about, like, growing. And well, I already used the word growing, but mostly that's really what it is. It's like living a better today and tomorrow than you did yesterday. And you don't do that by not sharing, and you don't do that by not trying new things. So this podcast isn't just about helping myself. It's also about helping others. And I feel like it's like a collective community. And if we do it together, then it's unstoppable. And that alone just excites me so much. So it was really important for me to share this story with you, because some don't know, and I really want this community and this podcast to grow, because I see and I could feel it, and I really need your help. So I do want to start interviewing new people, and if you have somebody to interview, please just let me know, because I'm happy to interview them. I'm happy to grow this community. So if you even want to be interviewed yourself, just let me know. There's nothing better than connecting with people. I feel like I'm learning so much. I'm learning about, like, the microphone. I'm learning about technology. I'm learning about social media. Shit, I didn't even know about social media, that, like, I don't know. I just feel like influencers only know that, right? And now I'm like, oh, wow, this is something that we all can learn and we all can benefit from. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's super cool. So don't feel intimidated by being on a podcast either, because that's some feedback I'm getting too. I don't know what the hell I'm doing either, but we're sitting here on this couch or downstairs in the office or maybe even on Zoom, and we're just talking, and whoever wants to listen gets to listen. Whoever doesn't, they don't listen. So I don't know. I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited, and I couldn't get even this far without you guys supporting me and listening. So thank you all so much. Thank you for listening to this short episode, but I really want to give some insight on. I just wanted to thank you all for giving it your time. And again, I'm super excited to see this community grow. Oh, I also have a blog too, so if you can help get that out. But I just want to start building on the blog, because my blogs are basically at the show notes of the show. So basically I'm putting on the show like this, like audio or video, and then I'm creating a blog and I'm putting on the blog. But I want to start building on that blog. I want to start posting pictures. I want to start posting video. I want to start building content, and that kind of just be my main platform where you would kind of find like older shows, and even the Spotify link is on there. But I'm going to start sharing my blog. So if you guys could read it and even like it, because all that crap matters too. It all matters. So if you can just like this episode and continue to follow me, I appreciate you. And let me know if you want to be on my podcast, or if you know somebody that wants to be on my podcast, because summertime's coming and I have all fall summer, and I'm willing and ready to get this started. Thank you for tuning in. Can't wait for next week. That's it for today's episode of The Marissa Effect. Thank you for tuning in. And if you love this episode, be sure to subscribe and follow along. And if you got a guest in mind, or you want to be on the show, just DM at The Marissa Effect. Let's connect. Catch you all next week.